Get what you really want with the all-new Ford Everest Active 4x4. Value packed with 12-inch touchscreen, black exterior styling and 18-inch alloys. All from just $60K drive away. Get the Everest Active at participating Ford dealers. Get what you really want with the all-new Ford Ranger Wolf Track V6, featuring bold styling, 17-inch alloys and all-terrain tyres, all from just $73K drive away. Ranger Wolf Track at participating Ford dealers while stocks last.
Hey everyone, I'm Tommy Neil Thorne. Tune in this weekend as the Rollers take on the world.
Get what you really want with the value-packed Ford Ranger Black Edition 4x4 with bedliner, 12-inch touchscreen, 17-inch alloys and all-terrain tyres. All from just $53K drive away. Get the Ranger Black Edition at participating Ford dealers.
What's up everyone, Jalen Brown here. I'm currently over in Turkey for the 25-26 Turkish League. I'm excited excited to get back and kick off this new era of wheelchair basketball with you all. The 2026 season is going to be something special. Make sure you're following along here for updates while I'm overseas.
Get what you really want with the all-new Ford Everest Active 4x4. Value-packed with 12-inch touchscreen, black exterior styling and 18-inch alloys. All from just $60,000 drive away. Get the Everest Active at participating Ford dealers.
Wheelchair basketball emerged shortly after World War II after it was developed by injured servicemen. It became a foundation Paralympic sport at the 1960 Games and is now one of the world's most recognisable wheelchair sports. Athletes who play wheelchair basketball have a physical impairment. All players use a wheelchair to compete, although some don't use a wheelchair in everyday life. The court dimensions and basket height for wheelchair basketball are the same as the able-bodied version of the sport, as is the playing time and number of players on court. Wheelchair basketball classifications range between 1 and 4.5 points. Players with a classification of 1.0 have the highest level of impairment, while players in the 4.5 point class have the highest level of physical function to be eligible for the sport. The wheelchairs used during a game are specially designed to support players and help them move around the court. During a match, the classifications of the 5 players on the court are added together and must reach a total of no more than 14 points. The object of the game is to score the most points in the opposing team's basket. The team with the most points by the time the clock expires wins. Wheelchair basketball is a contact sport. The sport is so fast that it can be difficult for athletes to stop in time, meaning contact is inevitable and can result in some spectacular collisions. While contact is permitted and even encouraged, head-on collisions are strictly forbidden and can result in fouls or even ejection from the game. For more information on wheelchair basketball, visit paralympic.org.au.
Get what you really want with the new look Ford Ranger Wild Track. With its power roller shutter, stunning matrix LEDs and premium B&O 10-speaker sound system. And you'll also get a 4K fuel card. That's 4K to take you on even bigger adventures. Available at your participating Ford dealer now.
Welcome to the AUS Centre of Excellence in Canberra, Australia, for the third day of the Rollers against the World Challenge. It's a chilly morning here in Canberra, just a little after 8 a.m. But the Australians and the Italian team are on the floor for their second encounter at this tournament. On Friday afternoon, Australia 59 had a narrow win over Italy 56. Both teams still in the early stages of their preparation for the World Championships in Ottawa, Canada, coming up in September. So we can expect to see some different permutations of rotations today. My name's Brendan Parnell. I'm joined by Campbell Fraser. Campbell, what are you expecting from today's game?
Yeah, I think I'm really expecting the Australians to come out firing. They've looked like they've gotten better every single game that they've played over this weekend. And the showing against Italy really wasn't their strongest. I think a couple of their players really didn't bring the energy that they were necessarily expected to. You know, Tristan Knowles is a fantastic player and he's looked incredible through the other games, but in that game he went quite quiet and really relied on a couple other players to kind of bring up the energy for him. And on the side of Italy, I think they've got a lot to prove at the moment. They've struggled through the plays a little bit through this weekend, but obviously only with a 3-point loss against the Rollers previously. And they've also looked stronger every game, but also more fluid every game, and kind of more comfortable with running different rotations and scoring through players that aren't necessarily what they're expecting to or what they would be expected to. So I think it'll be a good challenge for the Rollers to continually adapt to the style that the Italians play, and the Italians to kind of bring that energy in that fight.
Yeah, we've seen the European style distinctly different from that of the Australians and the Japanese team at this tournament. Then Australia and Japan having contested the Asia-Oceania final of the IWBF qualifiers. Italy, of course, coming out of the European division. And the Italians have had 4 games at this tournament so far, yet to register a win, but most of their games, all bar one, have been extremely tight. The Australians have 3 wins, but the one that might stick in their craw a little is the thumping they took from Spain yesterday. Nonetheless, head coach Brad Ness has been comfortable rotating players. There's still a couple of potential players to come back into this squad before Ottawa, so really an opportunity for some of the players who are either on the fringe or might think they're part of the squad to convince him that they are somebody that he needs to take to Ottawa. Just the final stages of the warm-up. If anybody happens to be in Canberra, certainly an opportunity to come down and watch live. It's free admission over the 5 days. Tomorrow we'll see 4 games today to finish the round play, and semi-finals on Monday afternoon and evening, and some playoff games on Tuesday afternoon and evening. But it's been extremely hectic for all the teams. 2 games every day between recovery, some scouting. We've seen the teams doing even some light training runs even between some shooting. So it's certainly an opportunity for all sorts of activities as the respective teams try and get their houses in order ahead of the World Championships. Final preparations. We have the starting lineups available. Australia, a different starting lineup again today. Ethan Laird, Tristan Knowles, Luke Popel, Jake Kavanagh and Phil Evans. While for the Italian side, it's Organelli Joseph, the man who's really thrilled us from the 1-point spot with his array of offensive talents that are normally not seen from that position. Carasino, he'll be one of the guards. Giaretti, the magician, who's also thrilled us with his unconventional approach to scoring. Syed and Spuels, rounding out that starting 5. The Italians, you can see in the final huddle on the left, wearing their white uniforms with the blue numbers. Australia in their traditional gold with the green numbers. One of the huddles looks a little more like a convention than the other. That's the Australian huddle with the 16 players. And it does look like there's a massive support staff, but that's due to the fact that Basketball Australia has their National Coaching Convention at the AUS, this venue, over the past few days. So it's been an opportunity from coaches from all levels of the sport to come and observe things firsthand. And head coach Brad Ness has been very generous with the access provided. Campbell, nothing significant in those starting lineups?
No, I think it's pretty standard. Obviously, as we've said, the Rollers have a wider squad that they've brought here. Obviously, the ability to do that on home soil, and they're really looking to run through various rotations. The one I'd be looking out for on the Italian side is Spuels. He's a young guy who was really instrumental in the Italian showing in the under 23 Worlds rather, earlier this year, and he's quite valuable to them with his height and his play style. And I think it's been really interesting to see his development across these games.
Okay, if you're looking for Spuels, it's Alessandro Spuels. He's wearing the 00 for Italy. We have the first possession. Carasino with the ball. Good pass across, Giuretti, Borgonelli Joseph. So a set play from the Italians there. A skip past Borgonelli Joseph, just diving into the free throw line. Popel, Knowles, run a bit of a dribble weave for Australia. Ball back to Knowles. Drives middle. Change of passing. Lead shot off the bottom of the rim. Middle off and rolling. Australia's transition defence doing a good job there. Kayed felt some contact, nothing called. Just turned it over. Gagano gets it off to Knowles. His three's off. Carasino for Italy. It's inside Giuretti, no look pass. Just some of the stuff that he can produce. The ball was no sooner in his hands than it was being whipped across to Syed. And he took the mandatory tumble as well. This one's good from Syed. And the second. Popel with the ball for the Australian team. Kicks to Knowles. Drives middle, cut off. Back to Popel. Thinks three. Thinks better of it. Knowles. Shot clock ticking down in the background. Shot from Evans is off.
Both teams just looking a little bit quiet here and really not finding anything. Potentially it's the early start in the morning and just a little bit awkward in the way that they're both playing offense.
Syed scores two more. And that's all of Italy's 4 points. Yeah, we did have a look, Campbell, that once these teams get to Ottawa, there will be games that start at 9:45 in the morning, Ottawa time. So it's not that unusual and reasonable preparation. Arcino, that pass never had enough air in it. The magician appears. Spins. He spins himself over the baseline, but shots off from Carasino. Australia gets another opportunity to open their account. Knowles to Laird, looks at 3, takes it. There's a hand right with him. Trying to put him off a fraction. Centre running a 2-man game with Syed. Skips across the floor. Buers gets a pick for Boganelli Joseph. Overarm hook pass from Giaretti to Carosino. He converts. Brad Ness wants to have a chat. Australia looking just a little out of sorts. A little over 3 minutes into the game, and Italy, by contrast, Campbell, looking very like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, I think Italy have really learned a lot from the previous games that they've had this weekend, and potentially the Australians. Obviously, they're trying to run different things, seeing what works and what doesn't, and they have the opportunity to do that at this tournament because they're not necessarily playing anything other than for bragging rights. But it's an interesting rotation that they're running at the moment. I suspect they'll bring in a substitution or two here, noting that Tristan Knowles really being the only one in that team, that 5 who were on, with the ability to post up inside the paint, and that makes it a very difficult situation for them, even if they do want to take a lot of threes, which we know that the rollers do. Really looking for those putback points as well. They don't really have the option to get those rebounds and fight the height that the Italians are coming with, and potentially that's just a little bit of a risk for them.
Yeah, you mentioned just playing for bragging rights, Campbell. It's interesting. There's obviously no trophy at the end of this tournament, but there is something about the habit of learning how to win. And we mentioned before the Spanish went through the European Championships unbeaten, and they may have lost one close contest to Japan at this tournament, but they have a knack of just constantly finding a way to win, regardless of circumstances, performance. As we see a 3-second call on the Italian team. In fact, no, it was an offensive foul. A massive screening action in the middle of the keyway. Popel with the ball for the Rollers. Kicks to the corner. Kavanagh drives baseline. He's almost allowed to some latitude there. Back to Popel. He's allowed none. Slade comes back to him. A second hand from Spuers. Puts that off. Knowles the offensive rebound. So they can reset. Popel drives baseline. Cut off. Looks at the hook pass. Giaretti is there. Cuts it off. Skips the pass ahead. He really wasn't sure about that and did turn it over. 2-on-1 for Australia. Laird and Popel. Laird looks at the layup. Popel goes with the underhand. Can't get it to go. Outlet pass to Giaretti. Hotly contested. Aracino comes away with it. Finds a lane through the middle. Gets through. Draws some contact. He's up a hopeful shot, which misses, but he will head to the free throw line.
And the Australians just really struggling on that offensive side, even with a couple rebounds to be pulled back in, just not able to find their line. They don't have the height currently to contest or to put up shots uncontested.
Carosino, perfect from the free throw line. Popel again for Australia. Finds Evans, he weaves in and out. Back to Kavanagh. Evans, almost left alone for a second. Kavanagh is. Shots off. Carosino the rebound, outlet to Giaretti. See something here, wheels around, looks like he's surfing a wave. There is a pinpoint pass inside to Carosino. He really shifts his weight onto one wheel. And he's moving at pace. Giaretti allows him to do some remarkable turning manoeuvres. So we see the post player you were calling for, Ben Moncrief, come onto the floor in 24. Carasino with his first miss of the game. Still 5 minutes played. It's been all the Italians. They lead 9-0. Day 3 of the Rollers Against the World Challenge from the Australian Institute of Sport in Canberra. Knowles drives middle, forces the issue, and draws some contact from Spuels.
This is much more like what we would expect from the Rollers and the way that they like to play. As we know, they're taking a lot of 3-pointers, and that draws the defense out a lot. And potentially, it was a strategy to allow the Australians to take a lot of those threes purely to pull the defense really aggressively out and look for that driving lane. Tristan Knowles is a big fan of that hard drive. He puts his body on the line every single time and will go for it.
He gets the Australian scoring underway. He leads 9-2 midway through the first quarter. This morning action in Australia. Carasino, there's glass, he's off. Australia off and running. Popel, the push ahead pass to Knowles. Draws some contact which the official has determined is unsportsmanlike. Excellent kick ahead pass from Popel there. As a result of the foul being assessed as unsportsmanlike, Australia will have the double advantage. 2 shots for Tristan Knowles, and they'll retain possession. Look at Tristan Knowles' very distinct routine with the breathing and the lining up of the seams on the ball before each free throw. With Popel, little head gesture, kicks it off to Knowles, receives the handoff. Moncrief sets a screen, ball skips back to Knowles. Gets it up above his head, back to Popel. Does a 360, doesn't go anywhere. Shot clock running down. He launches a 3-point Kareem. Or sky hook. Comes up short. Carasino. Australians attempting to trap him at halfway. He breaks that. Marotta sets a screen for him. He gets the ball off to Giaretti. Giaretti's shot is knocked away. Knowles off and rolling. Takes the ball. Giaretti picks him up, tries to hand him off. Somebody's going to have to cover him. Probably caught a break there, Italy. That 3-point shot was off. Dione pushes ahead to Giaretti. Dione gets it back. Back to Giaretti. There's a baseball pass across. Carasino drives baseline, back to Giaretti. He measures the shot. It was flat, but it was straight and straight in. Italy 11, Australia 4. Just under 3 minutes remaining, first quarter. First game of the day third day of the Rollers against the World Challenge. Knowles drives middle. Finds a hand in front of him, and the hand of Dione enough to put his shot off. Dione did get a touch. Australia with just 5 seconds on the shot clock to manufacture something. Knowles is aware. Beautiful bounce pass inside. Moncrief draws some contact. He'll go to the free throw line.
I think he was very lucky not to be assessed with a charge there. He was coming in with a lot of speed, knowing that there was only a couple seconds on the clock, and really having to put that shot up. But the defense just not quite getting in front, and I think it was the defense on the inside actually that made a little bit too much contact.
Ben Moncrief makes the first. Snaps the second in. Carasino pushes ahead. The Magician on his own. Spins around a couple of times on the spot. Meanwhile, Frank Pinder's fouled somebody. Picks up his first foul. Italians with 14 fouls this quarter, Australia 3. Fioretti, they're giving him a little bit of latitude there. Not advisable generally. But his shot's off. Tristan Knowles, three-quarter court pass. Moncrief just happened to be leaking out, and he makes the layup to draw Australia within 3.
Yeah, and the Italians are very much not happy with that little play, I think. Knowing that Ben Moncrief, he's a fantastic shooter, but he's not the fastest player on the court. But somehow he's been allowed to leak out and get to that position pretty much uncontested. I think that'll very quickly be a scene that they'll be reviewing and for the days to come.
You can see the hand gestures from Coach Van der Linden. The Italian bench, they may be talking about that very thing. And I don't know if you can lumber in a wheelchair, but Ben Moncrief looked like he was lumbering down the floor there to make that layup.
He's a fantastic player, Ben. He has that height, he has that strength, but he does have a bit of drive when he needs to kind of drop his shoulders and really push through a lot of contact. He's really building himself into a fantastic set for the Rollers, especially with some of the Rollers not aging out, but kind of retiring over time. Brad Ness has taken on both Ben Moncrief and Tom McHugh, who's not here at the moment, all being from Perth. And Brad Ness previously in the Rollers playing that big high point role, so they've really taken on that experience, and he's a fantastic person for them to emulate and build off.
Australia putting a little bit of backcourt pressure there out of that Italian timeout. Italians get it across the timeline. Dione, it's a foul. It's almost two separate games going on there. There's 2-on-2 going on here on the left-hand side, and there was a compression of 6 chairs on the other side, in which the officials found a foul. Carasino drives middle. Giorgetti, Boganelli Joseph winds up in his familiar fashion, gets after it and gets his own offensive rebound. Back to Giorgetti, courtesy of Carasino. Carasino, back to Giorgetti. He measures it. Once he has that amount of time, there's a couple of little preparatory hitches. He's very accurate. Moncrief across to Knowles, back to Moncrief. He'll make something probably on the limit of his range, but very neatly done. Got another Australian foul, which has just been upgraded to unsportsmanlike. would have put Australia over the limit anyway, but we'll now see free throws and the Italians retaining the ball. The officials very quick on that unsportsmanlike trigger this morning. Rosino despairing gesture as he misses the second of two. Touch over a minute remaining. First quarter. It's game number 9 of series. Giona inside, couple of fakes, gets his own offensive rebound, fakes, can't make it. Knowles has it knocked away, Giona's there. This time he can. He's battered away in disgust by one of the Australians there. A turnover again, there's the magician appearing from nowhere. Steals that inbound pass, Giolletti. Calmly makes the layup. You really have to keep your wits about you when he is in a passing lane. Walter Moncrief measures that, can't get it to go. Laird does a great job hustling in, but can't control the pass that he tried to throw.
This is a really ugly little position for the Rollers to be in. They've just had a couple errors that they've shown, but really I think it's the struggle of the attitude that they're bringing in, knowing that they're down to a team that they have beaten in the past, and potentially just not feeling quite comfortable in finding their line yet.
About a 7-second differential here before the end of the quarter between shot clock and game clock. Ball goes back inside Giona. Beautiful touch pass from Boganelli Joseph. And Italy's doubled Australia up. Another turnover. She already can't get a handle on it, but it's been all Italy in this first quarter, and they take a 20-10 lead. And we'll be back after this break.
Get what you really want with the new look Ford Ranger Wild Track. With its power roller shutter, stunning matrix LEDs, and premium B&O 10-speaker sound system. And you'll also get a 4K fuel card. That's 4K to take you on even bigger adventures. Available at your participating Ford dealer now.
What's up everyone, Jalen Brown here. I'm currently over in Turkey for the 25-26 Turkish League. I'm excited to get back and kick off this new era of wheelchair basketball with you all. The 2026 season is going to be something special. Make sure you're following along here for updates while I'm overseas.
Welcome back to the Australian Institute of Sport Centre of Excellence in Canberra. After one quarter, it's been all Italy. Campbell, I'll let you break down the shooting statistics.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate thing for us to have to speak on the Rollers' shooting percentage at the moment, shooting 12%, 2 from 11 from the field, and then 0 from 5 at the 3. It's not the showing that they would be expecting. Certainly not what they're used to doing, which is a little bit of rain in that shooting percentage, but really that is the thing that's not going their way.
Yeah, I think it's the beauty of this tournament that you've got to expect situations like this to happen. You're playing multiple games. In Ottawa, it'll be multiple games over 8 days. There's always going to be a period where you have what we'd call at home a stinker. Australia experiencing that right now. The first shot of the half, the first shot attempt was an air ball. Anyway, Italy back with the possession. Aracino can't get it to go, but Gione with a foul over the back in the rebounding contest. Jordan Bartley onto the floor for Australia. 19, along with Hayden Seabar. Haven't seen a whole lot of him at this event. Italy with a couple of fouls inside the first 40 seconds. Popel with the ball. Lovely pass inside. Good cutting Evans. But the Italians have leaked out. Carasino, more specifically. Moncrief with a despairing chase. Popel comes into some contact. That's been assessed as offensive. Just moving too quickly there, Campbell.
Yeah, I think just moving a little bit too quickly and thinking that the defense was coming towards him, and potentially that defense just stopped really, really quickly to get that charge coming in. If they'd been coming head on, it would have been on the defense. I think he just managed to get there in time and just kind of scared Popel a little bit.
Aracino skip pass. Mr. Papi, who's on the floor now in number 4. Gione gets the interior pass from Carasino. He's able to finish. Jordan Bartley for Australia. Sees Moncrief over the back, behind the back pass. No look. Finishes with a layup. Italy throws a speculator. Gione has been dominant inside, but not even Gione standing on top of Gione could have caught that.
I think just that 5 seconds really showing the Australians what they're capable of, acting much more the way that they like to play, that really fast pace, using their low pointers as well. Again, as we see Popel going underneath, not even being protected by the defense. This is much more like what the Rollers like to play.
Carasino. Australian player takes a tumble. Papi can't convert. Gione keeps it alive. Tumbles out of his chair. Officials have found a foul. That was on Gione again. That'll be his second. A little bit of confusion there. The officials pointing the wrong way initially. Head tap is the play. With Popel signals. Jordan Bartley to Moncrief. Can't get it to go. Pretty simple post up. Gione the rebound. Kicks ahead. There's nobody at home again. Syed airmails it right past the rim. He can't believe it. No time to think. Popel's off and rolling the other way. Bartley thinks about 3, skips across to Moncrief, somehow gets hold of it. Popel cutting middle. Moncrief finds him.
That's a really nice little play from Luke Popel. He's found that baseline cut a couple too many times for the Italians to like, and he's very confident inside there. He sits relatively low in his chair, but he's a very consistent shooter, especially from inside the paint if they're going to let him do that.
Beautiful interchange of passing between Papi and Benvenuto. Finishes with Marotta. sailing down unguarded, taking the pass and making the layup. Opal now for Australia. They trail by 8. He thinks about the 3, left alone for the long 2, wheels around. Moncrief comes with a screen of sorts. Ball back to Evans. Shot clock pressure. The parent. Opal 3, can't get it to go. Rebound Barotta. Ball's kicked ahead. Benvenuto. Papi. Picked up by Seabar. Goes under the screen. Benvenuto appears inside. Looked a little bit of contact, but he makes the layup anyway. Margin back out to 10. Opal scoops up the ball. Hands off to Bartley. Evans the screen. Boom! Bartley. They needed that. Jordan Bartley from 3. He's content to go under there. Paid the price. They push ahead. Syed. Throws it in one hand. Flips it out. Harpy. Operating on the side of the floor that he seems to prefer, the right-hand side. Australians are fouled. In fact, Australia wants to have a talk about it. Head coach Brad Ness. Halfway through the second quarter. Australia looking a little brighter, but still trail by 8.
Yeah, the Australians are looking much more, at least what we would expect them to have their strengths, really showing their ability to get inside the paint and really break up that defense. I think that's one of the strengths that the Rollers have, is really to pull apart that defense and force those fast breaks just within the paint. And the Italians just getting baited into that a little too much. Obviously, still consistently ahead, but potentially the Italians just feeling like they need to shore up their defense. Their offensive side is looking fantastic. They're getting, especially Gione, getting inside very easily. But potentially that defensive side is where they're looking to work.
The Australian shooting percentage inching its way up to 29%. But the three-point percentage still an issue. In fact, for all our excitement, they've decided that last Jordan Bartley basket was a 2-point shot. The referee's conferring with the score table. Very long 2, we're going to call it, Campbell.
I think you'd almost want to be arguing that one, although Jordan Bartley might not have noticed until later. It's an unfortunate little thing. He's he's been very good across the past couple games at kind of setting that 3 and really bringing it back in when the Rollers are starting to miss a few things. He's been a very good heat check.
Right, a little bit of confusion there about substitutions. Who's coming on and off? Hayden Seabar wanders off. I think that confusion, resulted in a technical foul. The Australian bench, unfortunate situation, but the referees obliged to work within the letter of the law. Damaci onto the floor for Italy, not shy. First touch, first shot. Opal for Australia. Noticeable Tom O'Neill-Thorne, not sighted yet, potentially having a rest. Moncrief can't reel that in. Laird scrambles back to get it. Benvenuto's body language says it all. He's incredulous that he's been assessed with a shooting foul. Shot clock was running down. He just got caught in the wrong spot at the wrong time, Campbell, and Ethan Laird will have 3 attempts.
Yeah, it's not a foul that you want to be committing there, especially with the Australian shooting percentage from the 3-point line at this stage. It's a little bit unnecessary.
Benvenuto, one of the younger players in the Italian squad, just finding his way. Demachi, the rebound, kicks ahead. Zayed takes a dribble, held up, over the head pass. To Papi, down to Demachi, drives middle, thinking pass, gets it back. Shot clock's running down. He really balances himself, measures it, and makes the 2. Popel to Moncrief. He set up camp on that elbow. Popel shot, hands all over the place. Front and back, can't get it to go. Papi now. Benvenuto got in the way as much as setting a screen. Demaji. Right wing, he waits for some assistance. Slade comes with the screen. Gives back across to Papi, who switch sides. He almost turned over that outlet pass from Stephen Elliott. In fact, it was. Papi weaves baseline. Gives an awkward looking pass to Demaji. He can't get the second one to go. Smallest man on the floor sneaks in. Pedron for the rebound. Won't be too many of those on his stat sheet. Benvenuto clangs it into the side of the backboard. Laird pushes ahead, can't find Elliott. Italy scrambles. Lots of hands in the air, but I think they knew they touched that. Demaji, lots of pointing.
It was just doing the maths. I think the technical foul before on the coach was actually due to classification being over points. With the substitutions that they were bringing in, they had to do a couple more substitutions after that technical foul. The unfortunate thing in the wheelchair game, you have to do a lot of math, and that's why it's very valuable that they've got several coaches. Generally have obviously the head coach looking to control kind of game situation, and you tend to have the assistant coach doing all the maths in the background.
And that would be assessed on the home team bench, so it has a reverberating effect on the head coach ultimately if he starts misbehaving. But we see in the background the Australian huddle, Brett Stibners doing most of the conversing there. Now Brad Ness is seated. There's a bit of a highlight there, Campbell. There's all sorts of highlights in these games, but to see Pedron sneak in there in the middle of the keyway in a contested situation and snavel an offensive rebound from his point position and his stature on the floor, he's just demonstrates again that everybody has a role to play.
Yeah, and that's something that the rollers really won't be happy about, that rebound, especially with someone like Ben Moncrief on the court, as those rebounds really should be drawn in, or at least contested by someone that has a little bit more of that high pressure, and potentially that's something that will be talked about after the game.
Moncrief couldn't get the first shot off, repositioned himself, and couldn't get the second to go. Syed's cut off, he's really got nobody to pass to. Looks ahead, Demaji's there now. So pops out of his chair. Papi alerts the official. Syed with the inbound now for Italy. A couple of seconds there to set something up. Syed with a languid release from the free throw line. It won't go. Laird off and running in one of those wide arcing turns that he favours. Finds Moncrief. Beautifully timed. Ball skips to Popel. Almost. Ethan Laird goes flying through the air. Caught a wheel there and just sailed off into the Australian bench, but play goes on. Damaji. Boom from Syed. Offensive foul. Hands on head. Was just having a word with the Australian bench, I think, about potentially assisting Ethan Laird to get up and in action again. Is that correct, Campbell?
Yeah, potentially, and just recognizing that wherever you come out, even if you do come out quite aggressively, you do have to come back straight back in where you came out. It's a very easy little thing to kind of slip with and get away with sometimes in the wheelchair game. You can, as we've seen, there's a lot of pressure that happens off ball.
Devin Elliott probably can't believe it. He didn't make that layup. Hedron was the last defender rolling back to try and prevent him. A total height mismatch. Now, I'm not sure if the cameras caught Ethan Laird, how high he went up in the air there. It's a wonder. I know he's like a rubber ball, but it's a wonder he didn't suffer any injury. Elliott makes the second. Italy protecting this 7-point lead. We tick down towards the end of the first half. It's game number 9. The Rollers against the World Challenge. Green and roll action inside. Syed with his own magic. I think he shot that off his chest, Campbell. I think he fumbled it onto his chest and it bounced straight up in the air. Maybe I'm exaggerating.
It's one of the styles that low point players specifically like to shoot from is essentially a chest pass. So potentially it's not too far out of what he was used to.
He was in such a rush to get it up. He knew the contact was coming, and he had a minuscule window, and it's fantastic skill. Australia almost turns it over in the backcourt again. Popel pushes. Left wide open. Benvenuto comes towards him now. Moncrief drives baseline. There's a lane for him. Syed appears from nowhere. Moncrief sizes him up. Shoots over the top. The last minute. Turn over there. Damaji tries to settle things down a little for Italy. Getting a little frantic. Good pass back from Papi. Damaji. The clock is firing in the background. Australia with one last chance. Stephen Elliott minding his own business way down the other end of the floor. Gets the lead pass, can't finish. He's hacked to the ground.
Stephen Elliott's had a little bit of a difficult run under the basket, but really drawing in those fouls. It's very much the style that he likes to play. He likes to kind of fight with contact, but really should be converting those shots under the basket just before the defense can manage to get there.
Yeah, hasn't played a whole lot of minutes over the first 2 and a bit days. Maybe a little bit of rust, maybe overthinking it. Certainly getting to all the right spots. Snaps that free throw in. That'll do him the world of good. The officials have put 1/10 of a second back on the game clock. So unless the Italians are going to go all interstellar on us, There'll be no more scoring. Elliott's second shot is off, and that'll do us. Italy, good value for their lead, and they hold that advantage 34-27 as we head to a break.
Get what you really want with the all-new Ford Everest Active 4x4. Value-packed with 12-inch touchscreen, black exterior styling and 18-inch alloys. All from just $60,000 drive away. Get the Everest Active at participating Ford dealers.
I was really lucky to cross paths with wheelchair basketball when I was 15 years old. I fell in love with the sport.
I was doing horse riding and I wanted to play a team sport, and my mum came across wheelchair basketball and I just grew to love it. My muscles have grown stronger, so I'm able to do a lot more things now because of basketball. Yeah, it just helped me a lot in life. I would love to play at the Brisbane 2032 Paralympics and represent the country.
I wasn't 21 until I made my first Australian team, so you've got plenty of time. The most important thing is that you just enjoy your basketball.
By rolling out the start line, we want to build a framework where anyone that wants to become involved in parasport can find and navigate their way through to the opportunity that's local, that suits their needs.
Parasport's the best. You meet people that are just like you.
Times can be really tough. You're going to have some really frustrating days. It's okay to ask for help, but I promise you things do get better, and Paralympic sport can play a huge role in that.
Have a go. When we move out of our comfort zone, we surprise ourselves.
Not in my wildest dreams did I imagine that direction my life has taken, and I'm extremely thankful for it.
Just try it. You'll just grow to love it, and you could probably play for your country.
Hey everyone, I'm Tommy Neil Thorne. Tune in this weekend as the rollers take on the world.
Get what you really want with the all-new Ford Ranger Wolf Track V6, featuring bold styling, 17-inch alloys and all-terrain tyres, all from just $73,000 drive away. Ranger Wolf Track at participating Ford dealers while stocks last.
Welcome to this very special occasion, a celebration of the 2000 Australian Paralympic team.
It's so great just for everyone to come together and reminisce, and it's like a massive reunion.
To be here with everyone's just so special. It makes me almost cry with joy.
So wonderful to be back here after 25 years. So many people that got to share such unforgettable memories because it was the first time we had the Paralympic Games in Australia.
We all have a bond that can't be broken because we all experience something that is a part of our lives.
All of what we're here for, we have to develop the athletes, the kids with disabilities, to believe that they can achieve.
Sydney 2000 showed that the Paralympic Games can be as good as a host city chooses to make them. It filled stadiums, it filled arenas. It set the benchmark for the athlete experience.
Sydney 2000 changed everything. Let's just take the Paralympic movement to a place where it had never been before.
People with disabilities can, and I think Sydney said to us, we can.
Australia changed the face of Paralympic sport forever, and I couldn't be prouder.
My favourite memory from the Sydney 2000 Paralympic Games was actually carrying the torch into the stadium for the opening ceremony of the Games. Before I was about to carry the torch, there was going to be 2.2 billion television viewers.
The advice to the athletes is seize all the opportunity you have. The athletes that assembled here today are an example of the hard work and the legacy that can be left by a group that's come well before you. The best way that you can honour, respect and thank the past is to make sure you take care of the future by working hard and embracing every opportunity that you have at the moment.
What's up everyone, Channel Brown here. I'm currently over in Turkey for the 25-26 Turkish League. I'm excited to get back and kick off this new era of wheelchair basketball with you all. The 2026 season is going to be something special. Make sure you're following along here for updates while I'm overseas.
Get what you really want with the value-packed Ford Ranger Black Edition 4x4 with bedliner, 12-inch touchscreen, 17-inch alloys and all-terrain tyres. All from just 53k drive away. Get the Ranger Black Edition at participating Ford dealers.
Wheelchair basketball emerged shortly after World War II after it was developed by injured servicemen. It became a foundation Paralympic sport at the 1960 Games and is now one of the world's most recognisable wheelchair sports. Athletes who play wheelchair basketball have a physical impairment. All players use a wheelchair to compete, although some don't use a wheelchair in everyday life. The court dimensions and basket height for wheelchair basketball are the same as the able-bodied version of the sport, as is the playing time and number of players on court. Wheelchair basketball classifications range between 1 and 4.5 points. Players with a classification of 1.0 have the highest level of impairment, while players in the 4.5 point class have the highest level of physical function to be eligible for the sport. The wheelchairs used during a game are specially designed to support players and help them move around the court. During a match, the classifications of the 5 players on the court are added together and must reach a total of no more than 14 points. The object of the game is to score the most points in the opposing team's basket. The team with the most points by the time the clock expires wins. Wheelchair basketball is a contact sport. The sport is so fast that it can be difficult for athletes to stop in time, meaning contact is inevitable and can result in some spectacular collisions. While contact is permitted and even encouraged, head-on collisions are strictly forbidden and can result in fouls or even ejection from the game. For more information on wheelchair basketball, visit paralympic.org.au.
Welcome back to the AUS Centre of Excellence in Canberra. Half-time, opportunity to look at some highlights for the first half between Italy and Australia. Sino there. A game notable, Australia able to hang around despite going 0 of 8 from the three-point line. Giuretti delved into his bag of tricks with a few times during that half. Moncrief is pretty solid for Australia. Campbell, anything else of note?
I think the biggest thing that we will keep coming back to until it comes back is the Australian shooting percentage. They're 8 from 29 so far. Statistics going relatively even across the board otherwise, but really just that shooting percentage is a difficult thing to kind of concede and to feel good about. The Italians looking extremely strong on their offensive side. Their defense being a little bit weak when it comes to stopping that baseline cut. Specifically, Luke Popel has been kind of elite with that drive on the baseline, and the Italians haven't really responded to it yet. Potentially, that's something that they will have talked about in this break. But I imagine that is something that they'll have to look to stop, and that's kind of the way that the Australians have looked to change the pace of the game and bring back a little bit of their run.
As we look at the raw numbers there, neither team, or both teams, yet to convert a three-point attempt. Italy having made 13 two-point shots to Australia's 8. The rest of the statistics pretty even. I mentioned before Tom O'Neill-Thorne, we hadn't seen him. There's a reason. He's not part of the 12-player roster suited up tonight. And during the break, we did have an opportunity to look at some other highlights. And I presumed it was Ethan Laird. Our vision was blocked by all the Australian players looking down from the bench. But in fact, it was Frank Pinder who did that remarkable airborne somersault into the bench, trying to save that ball. It was something very Ethan Laird style, but Frank Pinder certainly showing that he's capable of that as well. Italians converting on their first opportunity. Now get a steal. Carasino. Syed has the 2-on-1 break. He's messed that up again. Going to shoot off the inside hand.
You have to imagine that's something that they'll be talking about after this game. The Italians, specifically for Syed, is that layup. He's had a couple opportunities to shoot under the basket, and hasn't really been able to find them as consistently as you would hope for. And that's a difficult thing when you've got a 2-on-1 situation and you don't necessarily trust one of those two to take that shot. It really becomes an easier job for the defender.
Kane Downey, one of the youngsters in the Australian team, onto the floor for his first minutes. Moncrief says it's slapped away, goes back to get it, finds Knowles. The offense sort of all over the shop. Knowles launches something. Going nowhere. Frank Pinder having some trouble getting out of the backcourt. Giaretti Australia retreats defensively. A trial by 9. Early stages, third quarter. Giaretti rolls straight into a 3 and boom! He can do that. Almost like a lapse in the scouting report. With the single screener in front of him, both defenders sort of sat on the wheel of the screener. Knowles cross baseline. Oganelli Joseph for Italy. Foul detected before Moncrief could release that shot. Syed getting a little too close and making contact. Syed's second foul for Italy. Frank Pinder to get things going. Beautiful give and go. Moncrief. Pinder just couldn't get the right angle on his chair. Magician off and running, he won't miss. Well, takes a tumble, flips a wheel, he's straight back up. Giaretti, that is. At the same time, Knowles going the other way. Frank Pinder takes another spectacular fall.
Just in those few seconds, both teams looking a little bit aggressive, potentially just getting out a little bit of that feeling coming out of the half. I think that was potentially not aggressively, but a little bit of a response to the Giaretti fall that happened in the backcourt. I think that was just a little response to kind of slow down the play, allow him to get back into position, and really hope to reset.
And that'll be the fourth foul on Suez. He's gone to the bench straight away. Just marched off after he was assessed with that foul. Happy with the defensive rebound, draws some contact. Italy with 3 early fouls in this third quarter. It's Australia's first. Sino gets it in, gets it back from Papi. Held up by Knowles. Giaretti. Drives baseline. Surfs around, throws a flick pass instead of a conventional one, but no surprise there. Papi goes glass. Jeremy Tyndall hands off to Knowles. Moncrief looks inside. Tyndall's shot blocked. The Magician off and running, 2-on-1. Knowles does a great job to get a fingertip on that. Break it up. Normally put that in the book. Papi squares up, makes another one. Just caught with a cross match defensively there. Had a big height advantage. Offensive foul this time. Jeremy Tyndall, the face said it all. He knew he'd transgressed. The lead has ballooned out to 18 so quickly, Campbell.
Yeah, I really thought that that buzzer there might have been a timeout for the Australians. I suspect Coach Brad Nass is looking to have a little bit of a conversation with his team in a second. And there was a call before when Ben Moncrief took a foul before. It was potentially from Brad Nass or someone else on the bench just saying that's enough, and that we're not going to keep committing those fouls and bring back a little bit of the showmanship that we are known for, and play a little bit cleaner.
Carasino previously just sailed into the paint, made another layup. Paper was able to score for Australia, but looks like another Australian foul. The officials just talking about intent there. Determined it's just a standard foul.
I think there wasn't quite enough argument to prove that it was unsportsmanlike. It was a pretty aggressive one to come in with, but definitely there was an action for the ball.
We get the first sighting of the magic spray. Comes out there, Giaretti, sore elbow. He did take a nasty tumble, but it was wonderful to see. It's the magic spray, infamous in Australian sport. Wall codes. Trainer comes on, sprays. Player moves on. Boganelli Joseph inside, draws some contact. Purple playing with 3 fouls, really the only player on the floor with significant foul trouble. And Joseph's got that beautiful wrist action on his shooting. It provides a lot of the power for his shot. Makes the free throw, but it was assessed to push to try and get out of that lock-up that he was in, Campbell, after shooting the free throw.
Yeah, I think that was potentially that. There's a lot of backpicking in the game of wheelchair basketball, especially at this elite level. They really like to jam up like they're doing in the midcourt there, and potentially just committing that foul just so that they can try and get back into defense.
Hinder, back to Laird. Head clock trouble, not really a lot happening offensively. Bartley eventually got the shot away, but it was harmlessly rebounded on the weak side. Carasino, Benvenuto, Didn't get his body lined up correctly, but he was fouled. Not in the act of shooting. The Italian ball from the baseline. Shot clock will reset to 14. But in fact, that'll tip Australia over the limit. The 15 foul in a messy quarter. Still over 5 minutes remaining. Benvenuto with a chance to pad this lead even further. Makes the second. A couple of substitutions coming in. Popel, his fouls, will take a spell. That was in fact his fourth, the previous one, so no surprise he's heading to the bench. Jack Kavanagh. Knowles back on the floor. Drives middle. Almost recognising Australia needed some sort of score. Carasino kicks ahead to Papi. Papi has a 2-on-1 opportunity. Draws the defender expertly. That's the way to run a 2-on-1 break. Da Silva Pellizzari. His first scoring contribution.
The Italians have looked a little messy from that 2-on-1 a couple times throughout this game. Potentially that rotation was purely for that, knowing that they've got that leak out a few times and looking to put in a low pointer that they're more comfortable with shooting in this particular game. Saeed is absolutely a consistent shooter, but just not finding his range really in this game.
Knowles back to Kavanagh. He's hounded. Gets inside. Evans on the roll, draws some contact. Benvenuto just a fraction late with the rotation defensively there. Evans with 1 out of 2. Malcolm still at 20. Carasino. It's ahead. Papi. It's a screen from Da Silva Pellizzari. Skips the pass across to Carasino. Calmly makes another 2. Evans, Kavanagh, Hartley cut off. Hinder screening for all he's worth. Draws some contact, the ball bobbles away. Just a player on the ground there. Official stopping the game from a safety perspective. In the long inbound pass to beat the pressure. A pass from Carasino. Papi sees the defenders go under the screen. Can't get that shot to go. So we see a timeout from Australia. Italy holding a comfortable lead. It looked just after half-time that Australia had found a bit of a wave to surf on, to surf their way back, but it all fell apart in a 2 or 3 minute spell.
Yeah, the Australians looking pretty uncomfortable at this position. We know that there's a couple players that they have previously relied on who they're not running in this 12, and we did know Tom O'Neill-Thorne is not playing in this game. That's not an issue. It's just they're choosing to run through different options and seeing what influence that has. I think that really does make the point of the 0 from 8 from the 3-point range. He is the one that really sets the tone for their 3-point shooting. Not that others don't hit them, but when he hits them, they all start to hit them, and he kind of becomes that helm for the team, and really someone that also Tristan Knowles really works well with and works well around. Potentially just a little bit of the youth on the side that they're running at the moment, just getting a little bit flustered by the Italians and really struggling to play from behind. I think it's a skill that we've talked about throughout these games, is that playing from behind is really a hard thing to do, and it's a hard thing to learn, and potentially this is the place to do it.
Okay, back underway. Jake Kavanagh off the ball for Australia. He smoothly cans a 3. Thought about it for a second. I think he was a little incredulous that the Italians were allowing him that much space. It's almost like a free throw attempt. Smooth wrist action. Damaji finds a cutter. Looked a little bit of contact. No call. Hartley with the ball for Australia. Exploring. Damaji sort of picks him up, then hands him off. Torganello Joseph. Knowles. It's a screen from Evans. Drives middle. Rides a wheel around. Clock going down. He goes for the sideways sky hook. It was never really going to threaten the basket. Silva Pellizzari to Damaji. He wheels in and out. Skips the ball across to Syed. Finds one he likes and makes it.
That's really a shot that he's needed to hit for a little while. He's hit those outside shots pretty consistently. Obviously, his drive being a little bit uncomfortable, but really getting his confidence back. And I think that potentially was the point of that break for him.
Bartley screen and roll with Evans. Evans gives the extra pass fantastically. It's like a training drill. Knowles finishes. Italy push ahead to Silva Pellizzari. Goes the long pass. There was plenty of defenders there in front of Guione. Seabar kicks it back to Kavanagh. Knowles looks, is cut off. Throws a pass into the next court. Italian manager, very quick on the take there. Snavel that before it could get too far away. Unfortunately, he's not playing. Silva Pellizzari. Picked up by Knowles. Wheels around. Damaji. Gets a screen from Syed. Gives it back to Silva Pellizzari's taken up residence at the free throw line. Can't make that go. Knowles for Australia. Always finds time to check the seams on the ball. Not doing anything. Have a look down now, undoubtedly. Doesn't actually, just to prove me wrong. Jordan Bartley's left with a bit of dynamite there as the shot clock runs down. He's going to have to hoik something. Just grazes the side of the backboard. There's been a few of those today, almost discus throws from Australia. Shot clock running down. Disorganised offensively. Be the byword for the day. Ball ahead to Guione. Just going back to Palazzari. Good pass looking for Guione. Picked off by Knowles. And that'll do us. End of the third quarter. Italy reigning supreme. 56-37 over Australia. And we'll be back after this break.
Get what you really want with the new look Ford Ranger Wild Track. With its power roller shutter, stunning matrix LEDs, and premium B&O 10-speaker sound system. And you'll also get a 4K fuel card. That's 4K to take you on even bigger adventures. Available at your participating Ford dealer now.
Hey everyone, I'm Tommy Neil Thorne. Tune in this weekend as the rollers take on the world.
Welcome back to the AUS Centre of Excellence in Canberra, Australia, for the final quarter of game number 9 in the Rollers vs. the World Challenge. It's day 3 of 5 days of fantastic elite men's wheelchair basketball action. And the Italians, they may not have won a game on the first 2 days, despite having a couple of close calls, but they're really making the most of things in this one, Campbell.
Yeah, absolutely. The Italians have come out firing here. Aracino is looking extremely strong as he has for the past couple games. Is really finding his range and his comfort in these games. And the Australians just not really having an answer, particularly offensively. Their defense has been strong enough to deal with the Italians, but their offensive side is just really not working for them. That is a credit to the fact that they're running different rotations and looking at what they can put on the floor, and a couple of issues with that. They're quite comfortable to run in a competition like this, but it's a question of the Italians being able to capitalize on that and really keep this lead going to the last quarter.
Kavanagh goes middle, interchange of passing. That looked a little better. Guione now with the ball for Italy. Hands off to DiMaggi. Gets a late closeout from Moncrief, but not enough to stop him making the shot. Greg Kavanagh for Australia. Moncrief at the free throw line. Shot short. Guione seals the rebound. Contact in the backcourt.
That's sort of been the name of the game for both teams in this game. Is that contact coming through pretty aggressively? There's a couple players who have been sitting on high fouls for a little while now. Potentially, it's just a little bit of that frustration coming out of the Australians.
Guione missed one inside. Borganello Joseph got the offensive rebound. It must have been awfully close to a 3-second call. Italy will retain possession. 9 seconds on the 24-second shot clock for them to operate. DiMaggi won't need all of those. The shot comes up short. Jordan Bartley the rebound. some lane runners. It's picked up by Boganelli Joseph. Finds Moncrief. He feels some contact, wheels back, makes the shot. I think I can't help thinking about the Tom O'Neill Thorne thing, that one of the almost immeasurable things that he brings is the body language and strength of purpose, that he's a player that people like to play with and be around. He never seems to want for possibilities and inspiration.
He's very much got the attitude that the Rollers really like to emulate. And he's very much a good core to have in the team. Players like Tristan Knowles absolutely have so much experience behind them, but he can get a little bit hot, and Tom O'Neill Thorne's a very good kind of centre to bring them all back.
Boganelli Joseph continues his fantastic shooting at this tournament. Got the most delightful wrist action. Fantastic. Frank Pinder avoided the charge there, took what contact there was, and made the high arcing shot. Kamaji for Italy, broken play, 2-on-2 front court. The rest of the players stream back. Kamaji thinks, I can make that. He can't. Moncrief, pinpoint outlet pass. Jordan Bartley. He wheels around, Boganelli Joseph picks him up. On the back pick, Boganelli Joseph there. Second defender comes in. Grabbing shots off. Unfortunately didn't catch any of the rim, so it'll be a 24-second violation. Teams having 24 seconds to manufacture a shot on each possession. Silva Bellazzari with the ball for Italy. Damagi, they're running a slightly different rotation at the moment themselves, Italy. Ball back to Gioni, who skips it straight to Ben Moncrief for some reason. Boganelli Joseph commits the half-accidental, half-on-purpose foul. The Italians substituting liberally. Holding a comfortable 17-point lead. 6.5 minutes remaining. Quarter number 4. Reminder, you'll see Spain and Japan coming up shortly after this contest. Moncrief for 2 there. Bit of extended pressure. The Italians handle it. Okay. Carasino across to Da Silva Pellizzari. Inside to the man playing with 4 fouls. Spuez. His shot's deflected away. Italy retains possession. Just checking things with the bench again. Australia decides on a mass substitution. Italy says whatever's good for them is good for us. They're going to do the same. Two almost brand new rotations on the floor. Carasino. Skips an in-out pass to Spuez. Benvenuto makes the shot. Laird across to Knowles. Kicks back to Laird. He's wide open. Surely that's going up. Just a little short. Carosino the rebound. It's the backcourt screen from Pedron. Da Silva Pellizzari. That's Carosino, weaves in and out. Thinking pass. Benvenuto hadn't rolled to space. Carosino, shot clock running down, forced to shoot. It's off. Tristan Knowles for Australia. Close baseline, gets around, hooks the pass back. Led takes some contact. Plenty of oohs and ahs from the crowd and the bench. Knowles goes glass, can't get it to go. Where's the rebound? Benvenuto threw it to somebody who wasn't looking. Payne Downey onto the floor. The long flowing dark locks. With that steal, Knowles drives middle. Softest of touches, gets the mid-range shot to go.
This is far more what the Australians are used to showing. Their defensive pressure. This is the thing that they really like to run, is this high kind of pressure. Really forcing Italy into a few passes that they're not super comfortable with, especially with the rotation that they're running right now. They do have a little bit more, a little less rather, options for those long passes, and eventually that's becoming a threat for them.
Carosino finds a way to break the pressure with the baseball pass to Benvenuto. Da Silva Pellizzari gets a lovely pass inside to Carosino. Basket counts. Everybody heard the whistle, and the official there wondered what was going on. Just checking. Downey inbounds, led with the ball for Australia. Surveys the floor. Elliott drives middle, draws some contact. Another demonstration from Elliott. He gets to all the right spots. His cut was perfectly timed there. A lovely pass from Laird, but identifying when a seam comes and allowing the space to open up before cutting is a skill in itself. Downey takes that inbound pass back to Laird. He thinks about three, thinks better of it. Skips to Knowles. Long two on offer for him. He makes it. They're sort of hanging around. 15. Quite the task with 3.5 minutes remaining, but not impossible. Laird commits the foul. Half court. No particular foul issues for Australia in this quarter, just their second. Coach Brad Ness in the background with a hand on his head. Sure things aren't that bad. He's trying to shield his eyes from the sun, but obviously no sun in here. Ruiz can't make that go, gets his own rebound. Really tough stuff. Benvenuto, long arms, rolling backwards and backwards, makes it go. Knowles for three. Get it to go. Carosino for Italy. They look to be heading for their first win in the tournament. Carosino drives. Laird switches onto him. Big height advantage for Carosino. Can't get it to go. Elliott the rebound. He's going to push transition. Picking up the point guard role. Finds Knowles. He drives. Lovely little shovel pass to Elliott, who finishes. Fantastic play from the big man there. Italy. Maybe a touch of nerves. Want to call a timeout. Coach Van der Linden straight down on the floor. It's a really peculiar lineup Australia's got on the floor if you looked at the depth chart, Campbell, but they're making a few things happen.
Yeah, I think they're really kind of figuring out how this lineup works, especially working around Steve Elliott. He's finally kind of finding his range in those shots. Obviously, he's drawn a few fouls and been able to take a decent amount of free throws, but actually converting on that last one before contact comes in, and the Italians not really having a way to answer that. Obviously, they have the point buffer, so they're allowed to work with a few a few different things and try a few different styles, knowing that they probably have the win here. Not that the Australians can't bring it back, but it would be a difficult task for them at this point. But I think it's been a learning experience for the Australians as much as anything. I think this is how they wanted to play this game and get a lot out of it, whether it's a win or not.
Australian hurdle breaks. They're up the floor, understandably. Trying to pressure the Italians. Carasino breaks that. Pedron comes with a little screen. Ball goes astray. Knowles and Elliott, 2-on-1. Knowles to Elliott. Can't get it to go. Carasino cut off by Knowles. Kicks ahead. Pedron caught with it. Just to get rid of it. The defenders were on him like sharks. Ruiz. Baseline, hesitation, can't get it to go. Gets his own rebound. Da Silva Pelizzari. Clock ticks down under 2 minutes remaining. Carasino rolls backwards. Can't get it to go. Knowles sails in for another rebound. His 8th. Transition denied. Sinks back. Looking for the roller. The rollers are cut off. The rollers from the screen, that is, not the rollers. Elliott shots off. Ruiz is unceremoniously grabbed by Ethan Laird. A bit of frustration there.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a strange foul. There was certainly some knocking before that, but choosing to just almost wrap his arms around him. Ethan Laird just getting a little bit, potentially flustered and a little bit over charismatic there.
Thankfully no reaction from his Italian opponent. As Carasino tries to shake Frank Pinder. To try the baseline. Pinder does a great job, really stays with him. His persistence defensively is fantastic to watch. Ruiz, Da Silva Pelizzari says, I can make that. Almost does. Ooh. Pedron sneaking round the backside, almost had the steal. But it's Ethan Laird behind the back bounce pass. Back to Laird from Knowles. Lovely transition. A little bit of panache. Foul. Transition there. Italy pretty much home and hosed here. Right from the start, looked very sharp. The early start, 8 a.m. Australian time. Benvenuto inside, finishes. Just 30 seconds remaining. Australia will have accepted their fate. Been a great learning exercise for both outfits. Been able to use some rotations they may not normally. Night of the future, Benvenuto's contacted. Ethan Laird's appealing for the charge. He's not going to get it. Benvenuto does the push-up to get himself up.
At this stage, it probably doesn't matter, but I think I would be on the side of Ethan Laird there. That it looked like he was able to cover the path and get in on defense. Obviously, he's a very quick player, so potentially it just looked like he was there right at the end and maybe didn't make it quite as the contact emerged. But I think I would be on his side.
That's the toughest call in the game, the charge block. Anyway, that was Ethan Laird's 5th foul. He sailed off to the bench. Certainly got value for his minutes today. Popel on for the dying couple of seconds. Kicks ahead to Frank Pinder. He's got 2-on-1 with Stephen Elliott. Bounce pass. Elliott calmly makes that one. Italians will just hang on to the ball here. Teams will exchange greetings. But it's a well-deserved win, 69-55 for Italy. As I mentioned, they came out looking, and it's noticeable, Campbell, we were here early and they were out on the floor warming up before the Australians had even appeared on the floor, and maybe that's indicative of their mindset that after 4 good performances over the last 2 days, they were keen to get a win on the board.
Yeah, and potentially the Australians just having probably a few conversations and knowing what they were getting themselves into with the rotation that they were running. But the Italians being very dedicated, knowing that they had something to prove here. And I think they certainly did that. Fioretti shooting 71%. An absolutely incredible showing from him. Obviously, Carasino as well, being kind of that helm of the team that really shows his strength and his value, not only in shooting but also his ability to play make. And the defensive side on Italy, I think, still looking a little bit concerning, a little bit loose, but Australia not able to convert in this game. And obviously, as we can see in those statistics, the rebounds, the Australian rebounds really struggling. I think they're not playing their height as often. Ben Moncrief not playing as much as he might in other games. And the Italians really capitalizing on that and also utilizing their sneaky little speed. We spoke about Pedro getting a couple of rebounds that potentially he shouldn't have been able to get purely because he wasn't noticed and managed to sneak in under the basket and just collect.
Yeah, Italy with the 27 2-point makes, and most of that 14 rebound margin was achieved in the second half. I'm pleased you didn't mention Australia's 3-point shooting. Just 1 from 12 today, the none too impressive 8% as we look at some of the highlights from the second half. Knowles did his best to try and create some individual scoring.
And I think that's the notable thing about the rotation that the Rollers were running, with Knowles kind of being the head of the team and not necessarily having the backup that he's used to with Tom O'Neill-Thorne. We'll keep speaking about that man because he's deserving of the praise that he gets, and I think that is kind of indicative of the way that they do play and that they need to play, is really working more as a team. As you said, Knowles getting a few scores for himself and kind of playing a little bit more selfish as he needed to, but putting himself in a bit of an awkward position.
As we see the post-mortem there for the Australians, we'll leave them to that. We'll head to a break. Reminder that Japan and Spain coming up shortly, but on behalf of Campbell Fraser, it's Brendan Parnell signing off for now.
Get what you really want with the new look Ford Ranger Wild Track. With its power roller shutter, stunning matrix LEDs, and premium B&O 10-speaker sound system. And you'll also get a 4K fuel card. That's 4K to take you on even bigger adventures. Available at your participating Ford dealer now.
What's up everyone, Jalen Brown here. I'm currently over in Turkey for the 25-26 Turkish League. I'm excited to get back and kick off this new era of wheelchair basketball with you all. The 2026 season is going to be something special. Make sure you're following along here for updates while I'm overseas.